Welcome to the first PC BGN review. I'm Josh, and today I will be reviewing Crash Time 2 Burning Wheels. This game confused me at first, as it doesn't really give a backstory, but after a little research, however, I figured out that Burning Wheels was originally released in the UK as a sequel to Crash Time Autobahn Pursuit. The original game was based on a German TV show, Alarm für Cobra 11 Die Autobahnpolizei, which translates into Alarm for Cobra 11 Autobahn Police. The two main characters, Ben and Semir, are basically Germany's version of Highway Patrol, and they cruise around in a vast selection of cars, all of which are supposedly impounded. The main story of this game is discovered after a few non-important but non-skippable missions and consists of arresting a gang of street racers who go by the name The League. These rabble-rousers have been racing around the city with a kind of reckless abandon that only an outlaw could possess. What I'm trying to say is that this game basically takes everything the major game industry has learned, like that immorality makes money, and turns it on its head. It seems like the two main characters are such perfect and law-abiding citizens that a jaywalking grandmother with a small dog in her purse should be arrested. This game looks very good graphically, and I was able to play everything on the highest settings with my computer, which is described in the sidebar. The drivable vehicles look nice overall, but the traffic vehicles and some terrain textures are lacking in detail, even on the highest settings. The grasses and other seemingly random plants occasionally create clipping issues, but overall this game looks very nice. The cutscenes, however, are a completely different story, if you can even call them that.
Ben, Semir, may I have a word?
Did we do something wrong?
Can't you see to your private affairs when you're off duty? You both left an application for leave in my inbox for the same day next week.
The main characters never leave their cars visually, as in you can hear doors opening and shutting, but the only thing that the violently spinning camera can show you is a couple of cars parked in a circular pattern. I can't imagine what the developers would have done to make human animations, considering that the drivers of the cars look like the blow-up pilot from the movie Airplane. The driving mechanic, in contrast, is very well made, with no major flaws considering I was driving using the arrow keys. I guess that's a good transition into the game's very nice damage engine for the player's car. I say that because if you rear-end a car in the Autobahn going fast enough, it just outright explodes. Another issue I have with the damage engine is the way the glass reacts to damage, or the lack of the way it reacts. As you can see in the video, the glass just bends to follow the creases of the metal. If you have glass like that, call me, because I'm pretty sure we could make a lot of money off of it. Gameplay has some diversity, with game modes ranging from shadowing an enemy car to going undercover in gangs to do street races. The game really hangs on to your attention by creating cases which you have to solve by doing the associated missions. Most cases have multiple parts along with the missions, so the first time through is really quite fun until the end. Then the entire story, if you can call it that, completely falls apart with the most anticlimactic ending I've ever seen in a video game. There aren't even ending credits to tell you that you've beaten the game. The endgame car isn't the best performance-wise or with looks, so it's not really even worth doing the last mission. I went into playing this game thinking it was going to be a completely linear Burnout clone, and while I was mostly correct, the advertising in it is extremely misleading. The trailers conveyed to me that 99% of the game was crashing cars, while the other 1% was explosions and losing wheels. There isn't really anything wrong with that, except for the fact that most missions have a damage limitation, and by passing that you fail the mission and have to restart. Crash Time 2 Burning Wheels is a decent game, and it only costs $20 on Steam, so it's worth a shot. It's a time-consuming game, as it took me about 3 weeks to finish, playing off and on after school, so you get your 20 bucks worth. Overall, Crash Time 2 is a good game, and for its price, the crash physics can't be beat, so I'm giving Crash Time 2 Burning Wheels a very good 8.5 out of 10. I'm planning on buying Crash Time 3 later and reviewing that as a follow-up, so keep a lookout for that if you like this review. The reason that you can't see my beautiful face is that I don't have a Dan quality camera at my house, and I don't feel like carrying my computer to Dan's, so you're just going to have to deal with my voice. You've just finished watching the first BGN review composed solely of gameplay footage. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check our semi-new website at battlegamernews.com. Thanks.